Hey guys, today we're going to discuss The Golden Bachelor. We're on season 1, episodes 3 and 4. And I'm going to be looking at my notes as we discuss this. Now we are down to 12 women. And the show is starting to get a little better now. It's starting out with a little cattiness from Kathy towards Teresa. Kathy is talking about how Teresa's clothes are so small and that she just always is talking, and she's upset with Teresa because Teresa is talking about how great her date was with Jerry, and she does not like that. And on this episode, the ladies go on a group date, and in this group date, they have a talent show. And surprisingly, everybody is pretty talented in this show, and they do pretty well. But Joan wins the talent show, and he takes Joan on a date. And they have a great date, and he ends up giving her a rose. In the next scene, you show Joan getting a text from her daughter. Well, her daughter's just had a baby, and I guess it was a complicated pregnancy and a complicated delivery. And now it looks like Joan is going to have to go home so that she can be with her daughter. So she goes in and she breaks the news to the other ladies that she's going to have to go home, and they appear to be upset. And then she goes and tells Gary that she's going to not be able to go on with the competition because she needs to go home and be a mother. So she leaves the show. So now Joan is gone from the show. Then he has a one-on-one date with Ellen. And they shoot back to the house, and at the back of the house, Teresa is telling Kathy about her date that she had with Gary and how it was so great and that they made such a great connection. And this just really just upsets Kathy. So she is just totally upset about this. So later on, you see Kathy talking to Jerry, telling him that she's just really had a hard day and she's just really upset. And there's just some people in the house that are just not what they seem, but she does not name Teresa. She just says there's some people that they're not what they seem. Teresa later on apologizes to Kathy and said that was not her intent at all, that she was just sharing the time that she had, and she apologizes to Kathy, and they seem to have both be okay with that. And then later on, you see Gary talking to Teresa because he can tell that she's upset, and he goes to her bedroom and he comforts her and tells her, if you didn't have any bad intent in telling about your date to the other women in the house, then don't even worry about it. And then we get to the rose ceremony, and as I said, there are 12 women left. Then Joan leaves, that makes it be 11. So then he sends home Edith and Christina. So now there are 9 women left. As Kathy and Teresa are standing up there with their roses, Teresa tells Kathy, after we had our conversation and I was upset, Gary came to my bedroom and comforted me and made me feel a whole lot better about the situation. And this just makes Kathy so mad. She doesn't say anything about it at the time, but the next episode, episode 4, she's going to really get into that with Teresa. Now we're going to move on to episode 4. In episode 4, Trista comes out, and for those of you who don't know who Trista is, she is from the very first episode, first season of The Bachelor, which is about 20 years ago. She ended up marrying the person that she picked, or that picked her, and that, like I said, is about 20 years ago. And as she's talking to all the women, Teresa again starts to talk about how great her date with Gary was, and this just totally upsets Kathy all over again. But Trista leaves a note, and in this note it tells what their group date is going to be and who gets a one-on-one date. The group date is going to be to play pickleball, and the women seem pretty excited about that. And the one-on-one date is with Leslie. During the pickleball date, they play a pickleball tournament, and Ellen and Kathy win the pickleball tournament. During this tournament, we find out that Sandra has, her daughter is getting married, but instead of attending the wedding of her daughter, she decides to come to be on the show. And that's quite a surprise that someone would miss out on their daughter's wedding in order to be on a show. But she says her daughter's okay with it, that her daughter told her, I got my guy, you go find your guy. So I guess the daughter's okay with it, but I don't think that I would be okay with that. And I think later on when they look back on this, I don't know if Sandra's going to get picked or not, but when they look back on this, they're going to be upset that she didn't attend the wedding. And then Teresa and Kathy have another conversation. Teresa pulls Kathy to the side and she again is apologizing, and Kathy tells her, well, you know, at the rose ceremony, you told me he came to your room and comforted you in the bedroom, and I don't need to hear anything like that. And
Can I just give you some friendly advice? Zip it.
I personally think Kathy is quite nasty. She tries to appear like she's a nice person, but I don't think she's a nice person. And I don't think Teresa is telling about her dates. I don't think she's trying to be mean when she does it. I think she's just oversharing and not thinking about other people's feelings. I do understand a little bit why Kathy would be upset about it, but I think the way that Kathy is going about handling it is not the right way. Later on, you see Teresa talking to Jerry about what Kathy said and that she told her to zip her lips. So he is kind of surprised that someone would talk to another person like that within the house. And he's going to deal with that later on. And he takes Leslie out on her date. They have a wonderful date, and he gives her a rose. And then later on, you see him with Susan. He tells Susan that she reminds him of his wife. So, you know, that really just makes her start crying. And he gives her a gift. And she is just really, really happy about that. And then Sandra, she is sick in the bed. He goes upstairs to see and check on her, and he gives her a rose. So far, he's given Leslie a rose, and he has given Sandra a rose. And then Nancy asks if she could take him outside and talk to him. So she goes outside with him, and she tells him that she knows that he's really not into her. So, and he says, you know, he can't disagree with her that he really is not into her. So she ends up leaving, and she goes home, and everybody is just so upset, or so they pretend like they're so upset that she leaves. So then we go to the rose ceremony. So at the rose ceremony, we have 9 women. Nancy leaves, so that leaves 8 women. And then he gives a rose to Sandra, but she's in the bed sick, so she's not at the actual ceremony. Sandra, he gives a rose to Ellen, Faith, Susan, Teresa, and Leslie. So he gives the rose to 6 women, and the 3 women that he does not give a rose to is Nancy, Kathy, and April. And as I just said, Nancy left on her own. So we're down to 6 women. And next, I'm going to do episode 5. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope this has gotten you caught up on the Golden Bachelor so that you don't have to sit and watch all 4 episodes, and this has got you up to speed. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, put in the comments anything that you have to say about the Golden Bachelor, and I'll see you in a few on episode 5, reviewing and recapping episode 5. Thanks for watching. Bye.